So Bill Barr has opened a new grand jury investigation, a new criminal inquiry. Who is he investigating? Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So we learned today that Bill Barr's Department of Justice has opened a new grand jury investigation, a new criminal probe. So let's suspend reality for a moment and talk about how that could be a good thing, right? Because I'll tell you, as a former career prosecutor, I can see any number of crimes that have been going on day in and day out inside our federal government that ought to be investigated in the grand jury. For example, maybe Bill Barr opened a grand jury investigation into Postmaster General Louis DeJoy. Why? Because DeJoy's leadership of the U.S. Postal Service is basically one long uninterrupted crime spree. He's been slowing delivery of the mail in an obvious attempt to interfere in the elections. And that's a federal crime, folks. 18 United States Code Section 1703 makes it a federal offense to wrongfully slow the mail delivery. Maybe that's what Bill Barr has opened an investigation into. No. How about the acting head of the Department of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf? Because in recent days, you may have seen that a federal district court judge in Maryland issued an opinion saying that it looks like Chad Wolf is in that position as head of DHS illegally, unlawfully, unconstitutionally. That feels a little criminalish, right? But is Bill Barr investigating the fact that Donald Trump installed a head of the Department of Homeland Security who is constitutionally disqualified from serving in that position? No, that's not what Bill Barr is investigating. You know, maybe the easiest way to figure out what new criminal investigation Bill Barr has opened is by looking at Donald Trump's tweets. So back in late June, Donald Trump began tweeting. This one at 12:39 a.m. Donald Trump burning the midnight oil, calling people names via tweet. Quote, "Bolton is really dumb and he broke the law!" Exclamation point. A few hours later, Donald Trump outdoes himself, 6:28 a.m. Quote, "Washed up creepster John Bolton is a lowlife who should be in jail. Money seized for disseminating for-profit, highly classified information." And then for good measure, Donald Trump throws in a Hillary Clinton reference. Hillary Clinton really does seem to live in Donald Trump's head rent-free. So Donald Trump starts tweeting about how John Bolton needs to go to prison. He broke the law. Bill Barr responds by opening an investigation into John Bolton. I'll tell you, folks, it's really hard to feel like we're not a banana republic at this moment in our nation's history. A banana republic run by a bunch of banana Republicans. But let's talk about the grand jury investigation that Bill Barr has dutifully, at the command of his boss, opened into John Bolton. Reportedly, the grand jury is looking into whether John Bolton included sensitive national security information, classified information, in his book. Now, I have a couple of observations about that. First of all, do we think Donald Trump discloses sensitive national security information in his countless phone calls with his little dictatorial friends, Putin, Erdogan, Kim Jong-un, you know, the men that Donald Trump keeps telling us over and over again he admires, he respects, and in his words, he loves. Our president respects, admires, and even loves autocrats and dictators, all of whom are mass murderers of their own people. Do we think Donald Trump discloses sensitive national security information in those late night, buddy phone calls? Be that as it may, if John Bolton broke the law by including classified information in his book without authority, without a waiver, without permission, he should be held accountable. I was a prosecutor for 30 years and I didn't care and I don't care if you have an R next to your name, a D next to your name, an I next to your name, or no letter at all next to your name. If you violate the law, you should be held accountable. And you know who else that goes for, folks? Attorneys general. Because when I saw that Donald Trump tweeted repeatedly that Bolton needs to be investigated, Bolton needs to be jailed, and Bill Barr dutifully opens a grand jury investigation into John Bolton, your wish is my command, Mr. President, I couldn't help but be reminded of the questions asked of Bill Barr by Senator Kamala Harris under oath at a Senate hearing when she asked him, did the president or anybody at the White House suggest you should open an investigation? And you remember Bill Barr's answer. At first he pretended not to know what the word suggested meant. I have to grapple with that for a while. You weren't grappling. You were trying to come up with a plausible lie, one that you thought you could sell to Senator Harris and to the American people. None of us bought it because the answer he settled on was, I don't know. But he did know. Of course he knew. That's why he was trying to avoid answering the question, because he knew that Donald Trump had asked him to open investigations into his enemies. Of course he did. And Bill Barr lied about that under oath. And that's a crime. So when it comes to being held accountable, Bill Barr needs to be held accountable for that. It's not going to happen until January, because right now the inmates are running the government. The criminals are running the executive branch. But accountability will come beginning in January. Because, Bill Barr might be commanded by Donald Trump to open a grand jury investigation into John Bolton and Trump's other perceived enemies today. But in January, you know what's going to happen? And I can feel it coming, folks. I can feel it coming. What's going to happen in January is actual accountability. When a grand jury investigation will be opened fairly, honestly, not being directed by a corrupt president, there will be an assessment made by a law-abiding attorney general as to whether the grand jury should be investigating Bill Barr and Louis DeJoy and Jared Kushner and Donald Trump and Mike Pompeo and Steve Mnuchin and all of the other people who have been running roughshod over the rule of law for going on 4 years now. And when that grand jury is open, and when evidence is fairly, honestly, ethically, apolitically, and aggressively presented to the grand jury as the conscience of the community will decide if, for example, Bill Barr lied to Senator Kamala Harris, and if he did, the grand jurors will return an indictment against him and everyone else where the evidence supports bringing an indictment. That is when justice will come. And justice matters. It matters. Folks, as always, please stay safe. And I look forward to talking with you all tomorrow.